Very disturbing news coming in from Houston, Texas right now, where we're seeing reports of multiple police officers struck with gunfire. Our law enforcement analyst, former FBI supervisory special agent Josh Campbell, has been working his sources for us. So what are you learning, Josh?
Yeah, Wolf, a tragic day there in Houston. We're still gathering details on the extent of what is actually developing there. What we do know from the police union is that up to 5 officers have been shot in some kind of encounter there with the subject. The Houston mayor, Sylvester Turner, has indicated on Twitter that the suspect right now is down. We don't have any additional information about why officers were there and what actually happened during that encounter. We have seen footage of ambulances obviously showing up, as well as life flight helicopters. The nearest level 1 trauma center is not far from that location, but the helicopters being on scene at least signal that this is possibly a very significant injuries. We're continuing to monitor that, Wolf. Again, we have no additional details. The mayor saying the suspect is down. We'll gather those additional facts and obviously continue to update on the status of these officers just as soon as we get it.
Okay, so many of you by now have already heard about this situation going down in Houston, Texas. And again, that number 5, like, this is the 3rd time in a week, or with a week, I would say a week and a half, where there has been a shooting that has occurred. You had one in Florida at the bank, then you had the one in Louisiana, and when they caught his ass all the way in Virginia, and now you have this one in Houston. Now, the only difference between the first 2 and this 3rd one is that the suspect, I believe they actually killed. I believe they actually did kill the suspect in this one, because they said he was down. So I can only assume that they killed him. But it's something about that number 5, because like in the first 2 that I mentioned, 5 cops were shot in this instance. The only difference between those 2 as well is that the cops didn't die, because in the first 2, all the victims ended up dead. But in this one, these cops ended up just getting shot, and they're just being treated for their injuries. Now, according to the article that's coming from CNN, it says that they were serving a warrant for someone's arrest, I guess, for drugs, because I saw something that was mentioned about narcotics. So 9 times out of 10, the person who was probably getting served the warrant is most likely the one who was the shooter. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to read this article. Then I'm going to play some audio that I came across with the one of the guys who's a part of the police union, and I want y'all to listen to what he says, but let me read the article first. It says multiple Houston police officers were shot Monday while serving a search warrant. About a dozen narcotic officers, along with several patrol officers, have responded to a residence where police suspected drugs were being sold. The narcotics officers announced themselves as they breached the front door shortly before 5 p.m. Then the gunfire started. Immediately upon breaching the door, the officers came under fire from 1 or 2 suspects inside the house. One suspect retreated to the back of the room, then reemerged and again returned fire. 4 undercover narcotics officers were struck by gunfire. A 5th officer suffered a knee injury. Police returned fire, killing 2 suspects at the scene. He did not release the suspect's name. See, that part right there lets us pretty much know, or pretty much forms in our mind, what the demographic of the shooters were. Because if they're dead, why didn't you just go ahead and release their names or release their identity as far as their faces go? It says 3 of the 4 officers who had been shot were still hospitalized. Another officer who suffered a knee injury was also being treated at the hospital. This has been a tough day for our city mayor, Sylvester Turner said, encouraging residents to pray for the officers, pray for their families, pray for their spouses, their children, their parents, all of their loved ones. Well, I won't be doing all of that. This evening's horrific attack on police officers is a solemn reminder of the service and sacrifice our brave men and women in law enforcement make every day to keep us safe, Texas Governor Greg Abbott said. Now, I just read the article, but I couldn't wait to really get through that article because I really had a gripe or a bone to pick with the individual who you're about to hear in this clip. And I have to give a shout out to True Royal Family because I couldn't find this clip anywhere else. Well, I probably could have, but you know what? Work smarter, not harder. I went straight to her page because I knew she had it on hers because I listened to it in her commentary last night. So listen to what this guy has to say, and y'all are going to be just as mad as I am when you hear what he says.
Yeah, first of all, let me just thank the community. The outpouring of support has once been amazing, and it shows why Houston's the greatest city in the world. I want to thank Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, who already contacted us to make sure these officers are doing all right. And I want to thank all of our partners at HFD, all the officers out on that scene, who all played a crucial role in getting them down here. And certainly thank you to the medical staff, the world-class medical staff here that are taking care of our officers. But now I want to speak on behalf of the 5,200 brave men and women of the Houston Police Department and the other 800,000 police officers that are working these streets every single day, putting their lives on the line. We are sick and tired of having targets on our back. We are sick and tired of having dirtbags trying to take our lives when all we're trying to do is protect this community and protect our families. Enough is enough. And if you're the ones that are out there spreading the rhetoric that police officers are the enemy, well, just know we've all got your number now. We're going to be keeping track of all of y'all, and we're going to make sure that we hold you accountable every time you stir the pot on our police officers. We've had enough, folks. We're out there doing our jobs every day, putting our lives on the line for our families. Enough is enough. Now, please, keep these officers in your prayers.
Okay, so you heard from that guy. He is I believe he's the head of the police union, and I think his name is Joe Gamaldi. Gamaldi, I believe that is his name. And when he said what he said, and he said, "I am tired of our police officers having a target on our back." Well, what do you know? Black people in this establishment are tired and been tired of having a target on our back from police officers. Over the last, I don't know how many years, we've had a target on our back from these police officers. And he made it seem like that this was a huge phenomenon. Like this was happening like constantly every single day. He let this one event get him that riled up, as if he saw this on a repeated basis. Now I wonder, would he have anything to say if this was a unarmed person that was being killed like this? I highly doubt it. See, that blue wall is a very thick one, is a very high and thick wall, where only thing that they see is who is within the sanctum of that wall. I wonder if he has anything to say about the cops that were playing Russian roulette. And I did find out some additional information about that thanks to my subscribers. Basically that I think the two male cops were off duty and she was on duty, and she was at the apartment at 1 a.m. in the morning playing Russian roulette, and she was married. Like, why the hell were you over there at 1 a.m. in the morning playing Russian roulette and you on duty and you're married? That makes me feel even more of nothing for her and the cops and other cops involved with that. But back to this. And then he said, we're tired of these dirt bags and these scumbags and everything like that. And then notice how he kind of sounded like he was threatening people. He said, for all the people out there that's telling people that cops are this and that, cops are that, we got your numbers and all that kind of stuff. Man, if you don't go sit your ass down somewhere with them empty threats. There's a lot of people that say the stuff about cops every single day. It's not like you're going to reach out to each and every last one of those people. And sometimes, and also too, are you going to check the ones that are doing dirt in your department and causing a lot of this shit to go on too as well? Because there are some cops that kill other cops in the line of duty and they'll mask it with friendly fire. I bet he ain't gonna say nothing about that, but he wants to get mad because it was other people outside of that did something, and he's gonna stay quiet when it's people in his department or any other cop that he has a heart for that's doing the dirt. See, you can't see if you're not going feel some type of way when it's everything involved, then don't feel some type of way at all. That's how I feel. So he can take his little empty threats and his little bit of outrage, and he looks like he's short just based on how he could barely see over the mic. He can take his little Napoleon-shaped ass and shove it up his ass. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this whole situation. But really let me know what y'all thought about that piece right there. Then, as you can tell by the sound of my voice, that part pissed me off the most. Okay, here's an update right here with the pictures of the two individuals involved with the shootout. Their names are Dennis Tuttle and Rogina Nicholas. Now, I said initially in the beginning of the commentary that we didn't have their pictures and anything like that, and I said something just told me that they happen to be palm colored because these two are dead, but they haven't released their images or their names as of yet. But now we know exactly who they are. So now you see who they were. None of us are surprised that they are who they are. I have to give a shout out to two people. First, True Royal Family, because she's the first person I saw who actually put their images up there in the commentary she just did, and also to Dinya, to my subscriber Dinya Yisrael, for sending me the information about them as well. I will leave the links to all of that in the description, and y'all let me know what you think.